line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Crank it up. Finger to the sky and a green light shining bright. The only thing I have in mind is the finish line.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome back here to Live on Pizza Racing TV. We have got you a showcase today, race fans. It is a tough one here. Five Flag Speedway here for the Maple Ridge Racing Series here on Pizza Racing TV. It's about to go down here on the show. Hi, everyone. I am the Crusader, Christian Char, joining you guys here today. This is our race lineup and setup here today. Our first lineup and gridding presented by Race City Sports Memorabilia starts off in the number 11 with Patrick Baldwin the outside. In the number 09, that will be Daniel Folds. Row number 2 is Derek McMurchie in the 52 the outside. And the 29, Kurt Batty. Row 3 is the 25 of Mike D'Amico, and the outside will be Alex Marinelli. That will be your starting lineup. 3 drivers in heat number 1. 3 rows in heat number 1, not 3 drivers, pardon me. Very excited to see this one here as we're about to showcase them. Top 3 drivers at the end of the race will be talking with us here. About to see who brings the track on down, who brings the speeds up to par. A lot of hard racers in this one here, and a lot of guys looking to try to make up for what happened at Hickory Motor Speedway last week with some drama unfolding. It's going to be interesting to see what these late model drivers bring to the table, though, here at Five Flags. I know this track quite well. I literally just got done racing at it last Monday night, and it was probably one of the tougher tracks, I will say, to race down to the line on, because the fact long runs here are extremely hard to master and just touchy in the corners. We'll see how these drivers do, though, as we're about to send them their way from the back straightaway. It'll be the 52, Derek McMurchie, leading our field out. Daniel Folds, the 09, though, certainly looking to play dividend to this one. Off the distance through 3 and 4, down to the green, line them off, and green flags dropping down. Let's hit them off here at Five Flags. Side by side right out of the gate here. McMurchie will take the early advantage on the bottom lane. Folds trying to drive a little harder on the outside and build some speed to corner him off. Down for the corners, down, back into the position. Foles keeping his consistency up. McMurtry right there with him, though, continuing to defend now through the bottom of the pack here. Watch out for the 25, Mike D'Amico. Mike D'Amico right now has got some speed going. He's trying to take it to Daniel Foles right now as they're leading back around. Foles starting to block off a little bit, trying to keep that speed up for par. Using the outside lane is a bit of a risky move, in my opinion, because you're going to have to dive in pretty quick to that bottom lane and shred up a little bit of tire wear up there just to get it to go. I say probably later on you'll see him really start to come back and be more combative there on the late runs. Certainly going to be a very interesting subject there for later as we figure it out. Mike D'Amico still hanging in the third spot. Kurt Batty right in that pot shine as well, looking to try to get something going. A little bit loosey-goosey off that corner there with 8 laps left to go. Looked like a car just wanted to slip out a little bit underneath them. Couldn't quite hold it down on the track. Nevertheless, everything stays in motion, still under control. McMurtry still in the leader spot, but now the hijinks may be up to a little bit of trouble here because now Foles playing to strategy. He sets him up. He's got the corner off. From hijinks to hijacked. Foles hijacks the Zim setup shop right into the lead. He's got a big run coming down through 4, and he got him on the corner. McMurtry may have overdrove it just a little too much. Now Mike D'Amico looking to go head-to-head here. Mike D, don't call him the Intellivision Amico right now, trying to literally drive the wheels off this bad boy and see what he can do. They say the rocket ship is launched and set. He just needed a little more fuel. Well, looks like he did indeed just need a little more fuel. He is getting all she wants and what it needs to be. Alex Marinelli right now, number 54, laying back low just a little bit, possibly trying to save his equipment up for later on here. Of course, getting to the feature event certainly will make a difference there, but also probably trying to figure out where's the best strategy, where's the best plan of attack here for this one. Ryan Tadoos says go Steven, number 1 on the truck here today. Steven, I believe, will be in our next heat here, but nevertheless, Ryan, thanks so much for tuning on in. Hope I said your last name right. If I didn't, feel free to combat me there. I do apologize in advance. Field slowing off a little bit here. The pace quickened pretty quickly. Now it is starting to fold down with Daniel Foles still your leader. 2 laps to go. Next time around, we bring that old white flag on out. Here we go now, down through 3 and 4. White flag high in the air. This is Daniel Foles to lose now. He out-strategized McMurtry. He threw everything he could to D'Amico. And it's going to work perfectly. It will be the 09 Daniel Foles charging it to checkers here in heat number 1. Strong heat number 1 for them here. Interesting to see how that one plays out here. We'll take a look at our race results, though, before entering into heat number 2. Daniel Foles winning it out. Mike D'Amico 2nd. Eric McMurtry 3rd. Kurt Batty 4th. Alex Marinelli 5th. Patrick Baldwin did not qualify or race. All right. On to our final heat. 5 drivers in this one. John Mickey will be in the number 8 at the outside. That will be piloted down by the number 15 of James Fold. Runner number 2 is Chris Tinsley in the 10. The outside in the 91, it is Stephen Hazett. And finally, in the 51, it's Zach Onson. That is your field of drivers for this one. Team set up drivers in this one here. Looks like 2 not able to make the call. Chris Tinsley and John Mickey. There is Stephen Hessett, though, and James Fold, Zach Onson in this one. So, Ryan, your boy is out on the track, and it looks like he's ready to go. Getting the car all warmed up. Again, they worked the tires in, trying to get a little bit of a grip, a little bit of a ground clearance here on the start. Obviously, what it does is it incorporates more heat into the tires, more air to build up and pressurize. When that pressure oxidizes, it ends up causing the tire to deflate, and that's when you got a big problem, because then you'll have no grip or no leverage there later in the run. So pressuring it up now Gets a little bit more grip out of the start and a little bit more run for later if it is processed just right. We'll see how well they did as they ran them down off of turn number 3 and 4. Green flag is out. Let's see how this one goes. Ten laps to the distance here. James Folds immediately trying not to fold under the pressure. He saw what Daniel did earlier and looking to try to do the same. Down on the inside though, Zach Onson's currently your race leader. Playing to his style of racing here and looking to keep the momentum up. He's got Steven Essett right behind him trying to stick with him here, looking for any kind of control of the car and a little bit of a steering half. Good look at the back half there, as you can see. Folds just driving the wheels right in there trying to hold the line down. And if memory serves me, I believe it was James Folds who had caught himself. Probably a break that I don't even think most drivers could even dream of, let alone get these days. I would know, I'm one of them. Taking it all the way down to Hickory for quite a battle, quite a race. Never laid out, never gave up. He was your winner last week, taking down Daniel Folds there in the last bit. We'll see if he can do it again today. But right now, he's got to first find a way around Zach Onson. And Onson not exactly giving him much room for that to happen. But again, we saw with Daniel as well. He backed off early, waited for the right time to strike, and then patiently just kind of stuck his way in between. Took control of that one. Would the same thing happen here? Team set up, boys, right now. We're currently just trying to stick with the momentum and the power up on the routes and on the runs here. A little on board with Steven has said as well. Look how close, too, they're having to run that wall into the line and then having to drive so hard off the corner. And it looks like I said, honestly, it looked like he backed off a little too early there. Couldn't quite get the car to settle, although you hear a little bit of traction down on that car. Hearing a lot of things bumping and jumbling. I think there might be a lot of rocks playing with him here. Fire him down through turn number 3 and 4. Onson still your race leader. And actually, I have to refrain as well. I forgot there is another driver, Chris Tinsley. He did get the car out on the track. Elite Performance Industries, number 10, did make it out. He's going to have to fall a little short in this one, though. 3 laps remain. Folds, Onson trying desperately to hold each other down to the line, tying them to the wire. This time on by, it is 2 to go. Fans watching on, seeing Onson and Folds closing the gap on each other. Remember though, at Hickory we saw the same deal happen until the old bump and run turned into a nightmare run for others. James looking to try to stay out of that he got himself into last time, and Daniel certainly will be the same when he gets to his feature with the white flag high in the air. Onson looking to just set everything up perfectly for him. He's got one more drive off here through 3 into turn number 4. And he's going to do this one in. Checkers are out. Zach Onson takes it home. Impressive little showing there for Zach Onson and James Fold, both drivers putting on a good battle. Chris Tinsley making it out late, but nevertheless still tried his best. Let's take a look at our race results before we enter into our feature event, ladies and gentlemen. Onson, your winner. Fold, second. Hessett, third. Tinsley, fourth. Mickey did not race. Now onto the scene, race fans, presented by EPI. It is time for your main event of the evening. And on the pole, in the number 09, it'll be Daniel Folds. The outside, the number 51, it is Zach Onson. And row number 2, Mike D'Amico. On the 25 on the outside, it'll be the 15, James Folds. Row number 3, in the number 52, it is Derek McMurtry. The outside, the 91, it is Steven Hessett. Row number 4, in the number 20, it will be Kurt Batty. The outside, in the 10, is Chris Tinsley. Also, clarification, Kurt is in the 29, my apologies. Row 5 is in the 54, Alex Marinelli. The outside in the number 8, John Mickey. Final starter in the 11, Patrick Baldwin. This is your feature event, race fans. Daniel Foltz, last time out, going for a little bit of a ride, not wanting to do the same thing twice. 100 laps to the distance, 10 drivers make the call. Or 9 drivers, excuse me, make the call. Mickey and Baldwin not able to get out on the track still. Pick your numbers, pick your favorites. This is certainly one to watch out for. You gotta put your eyes on drivers that got those high I ratings, of course. Daniel Foltz, certainly one of them. Onsen, the 4,029 I rating. Mike D'Amico, 4135 on that bad boy. 3893 as well as James Foltz. These guys, they know how to hammer down. They know how to fight. But who will be able to stay out of trouble the longest? Backing them out on the back straightaway to 3. Setting him up for 4. Ladies and gentlemen, 100 laps to the distance. 9 drivers make the cut. Who's going to fight to survive to the top? We're about to see. Let the run begin. Here are 5 flags. Here we go. Onsen and Foltz immediately driving away. Probably trying to take the early pressure off themselves, just trying to stay out of that mess in the back. In the back of the pack, Mike D'Amico hurling the 3rd spot down from a hungry list of drivers. Some heavy hitters on there. I think I've raced with a few of these guys before, and they're already managing themselves quite well. Keeping the throttle up and keeping the power down. Stabilizing each other through the limits and through their own connections. See the rear end kicking out a little bit there on curve. Batty as well. Batty just getting a little too aggressive there off turn number 3 and 4. Car drifting slightly out underneath them, just trying to stabilize back off on the corner, just trying to stay out of trouble. Interesting start here from James Foltz, way back in the pack. He's going further back than I was expecting, honestly. Qualifying in the 4th spot. Honestly, probably is looking at the overall pace, the overall distance. Probably thinking about that strategy he used back at Hickory Motor Speedway, but again, you get too light with it, you could end up costing yourself in the longer run. Daniel desperately trying to get himself at least a little bit of a break from Onsen and trying to make sure that he has got himself laid in for the long haul, because he knows it's going to be a long, drawn-out battle between him and Onsen. Onsen staying away from that brake right now, using all throttle. Well, you can see that little foot meddling down there too. Look at as he gets on and off the throttle. You can see he backs out of it, then sets it back down, then tries it harder off. It's got to be very smooth. You can't let the car get too combative on him. You can't let it get too out of shape. He knows he's got to be a little bit more careful on making sure he kind of eases the throttle in and then hard off the exits. But again, long runs, you can't really do that. You got to be pretty much smooth all the way through. Just leaving a little bit of horsepower in there, but making sure the RPMs are at a consistent pace, the car is at a consistent pace. Not steering the car in at all will actually help your track out a lot better. So any kind of extra steering or any more torque you're putting into the wheel, the harder the drive becomes for the car. Track like this especially, oh boy, Chris Tinsley getting a little love tap there with Alex Marinelli. I don't think Marinelli's going to really appreciate that one too much. Doesn't seem like it took any damage there from the left side of the nose. Well, I take that back. There is a slight cut there on the left front. You can see the wheel kind of clipped up a little bit more on Marinelli's car there. See if we get a better camera angle on that. Oh, look right there, there it is, right there. You see it. That little jab there, that's all it took. And now Marinelli, he's got a left front damaged in. The Vermont Sim Racer. Oh, don't have to worry too much about having any more damage on this car because Tinsley just did it on the right side. If I had to choose which one I would rather have it on, I think I'd rather have it on the left side than that right side. At least there you have some leverage to work with. That right side, once you slam that thing in the wall, that right front literally feels like you're just driving a dump truck at this point. You gotta steer the heck out of that thing and make sure it's even working right, I'm telling you. There is the gaps right now between all our drivers here and in between. Nobody currently safe from madness or chaos here, but let's take a look at Steven Assess steering ratio right now. Trying to find a way around that Vermont Sim Racer number 54. But here's the thing for Hesset right now. His problem is he's trying to be a little bit less aggressive, but you can still see how he turns the car in. He's still being very lucrative, a little bit turny in there. You want to try to get a little bit smoother with the corners and be a little bit more on edge to the track. I've learned this from actual sim racers and real life racers. Go where the track tells you. Run where the track belongs and run where it's set to be. Don't try to force the car where it doesn't need to be. Go where the track designs it to be. And with these late model stock cars, again, Dale Jr. and the team out there on iRacing.com absolutely did a wonderful job getting this car as close as it can to an actual late model stock car. And boy, does it sure feel like it. A little onboard action here of Mike D'Amico here as he continues to drive up a good line here. You can see where his pace is and where he's dictating the run at. And he's just watching as Folds and Onsen. They have not left each other's back bumpers and front bumpers, by the way. Those two are still at it hard with one another. Mike D'Amico, though, man, he's just being very controllative here. Not too over ramped up, not too over the edge. Even curb batting here, kind of staying in the position. Both guys watching out as they continue to run their lines in, try to hold their onset off. We are 1/5 of the way done with this race. Man, if you're Zach Onsen right now too, I mean, what are you even thinking right now? Just be thinking, if I could just say, if I could get this guy to get a little bit tight or get him a little bit loose, do I capitalize on it or do I lay low, save my equipment, and then attack him when the time is right? My opinion, is there really a time that's right in this case? Like, do you try to wait it out as long as possible, or do you try to actually make a move on him sooner rather than later? Getting right to him is one thing, but the other thing is how do you pass him? Folds is not going to be easy to pass. We saw that literally back at Hickory Motor Speedway. And speaking of passing right now, Chris Tinsley, remember what I said earlier about that right front being something I'd rather not have destroying on my car? Yeah, this is what I was talking about. He's out driving that thing like a dump truck down there. He slammed that right front in so hard, that thing will not corner off whatsoever. So now he's facing all the issues and the rhythmic problems that come from having to steer in the car more. Not allowing the track to kind of smooth it out. He's fighting that car with everything he's got. And he's trying to fight everyone else out. But Steven has said, just kind of forcing him up a little bit. But that was really Tinsley there. Tinsley just watching on. Woo, boy, hold on down there a set. That man just got extremely loose there from turn 2, and then he tried to fire it back down through 3 and 4. And it looks like he finally got a grip down there. Tinsley trying to rock him off, but again, going way, way too wide. And James Fold kind of folding the chapter on that one. James there not touching that brake whatsoever, using all gas. Now you're probably wondering at home, okay, why would they need to touch the brake? Well, eventually in this case they would probably want to lower the brake down a little bit so they have a little bit more leverage to use up. Having too much of that go and too much of that power, you end up eventually start tearing up some equipment. So kind of just dragging the brake slightly actually allows the car to actually kind of get a little bit more system and more rhythm, allowing for more control. But what it also does is it really pressures yourself in a nasty little situation. So how that will fare and how that will go, I have no idea though. We still have a good amount of laps left, 70 as a matter of fact. Zach Onson, Daniel Folds currently leading them down to the line. James Folds already starting to drive a little bit harder onto the track and on the surface. And race fans, I think it's about that time at last. You know what it is. We're about to rev it up. We're about to crank it up. Let's drive it in and crank this bad boy up a notch. You know what I said, crank it up around here, McMurtry. I did not mean crank up the noise bracket on the wall there. But nevertheless, getting a quick slap off that wall, turn number 4, badly damaging up the car a little bit. And look at this little tail wagging that there. That must mean one thing. Some bumps and runs are being put in order. Had some sliced pieces from the Hunt brothers, and the 25, Mike D'Amico, got some run on Curbatty. Curbatty there, probably feeling a little bit more batty out of there, and now trying to just get back up there to D'Amico. D'Amico, though, man, just staying in control. But how long will he be able to do so? Yeah, I'll give credit too to James Folds' little strategy here, but honestly, this may not work out the way he was hoping for. I think he was expecting at least a caution or two, or he's really trusting that long run will work out in his favor. We're nearly halfway done with this race here, and this has pretty much been who can take the cake and who can start walking away with this one. All that power and momentum really just starting to drive home the fact that everyone just tries to make everything they can work out in their favor. So almost halfway completed, and a little bit more running around on that wall protection. Batty's starting to get a little bit combative on that wall, I will say. But look at this, almost 3 wide down through turn number 2. James Folds not wasting time now. He was saving up a lot of that time and a lot of that equipment, but my word, is he driving it a lot harder now. Kind of has to, though. At this point, James knows he revved up a lot of time and lost a lot of ground. So now he's needing to use every bit of it. The Steam Setup Shop, number 15F, is right now running the ground in, running the tracks up. Kurt Batty and Derek McMurtry right now hot on the trail. The hijinks been going on there between Batty and McMurtry for a little bit here. Those two still side by side down on that front straightaway. See McMurtry trying not to get it in the wall and also trying not to get him in the wall either. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out the same way they were probably hoping for. Meanwhile, up front, well, it seems like I've been talking about this for a whole half of the race, but yeah. Daniel Folds still leads him. Onson's not far behind, guys. He's literally right there. So Onson right now just looking for any kind of little extra leg up here. Just probably staying with Daniel Folds as long as he can here for the most part. I'd say too, probably the way things are kind of separating now. It looks like every driver is kind of now falling on a different strategy, as I just heard Kurt just literally smash that wall up again. He's hitting the wall with so much force, guys, that he's literally getting the whole fence to shake up there. That thing is taking a lick or two. That does not sound good at all. Yikes. And look at this now, into the third spot. Guess who's back? He's back again. Maybe a little shady, but he's back again, folks. James Foles right now launching this bad boy into the third spot. Honestly, I am getting kind of, ironically, vibes back to what we saw back at Hickory Motor Speedway just a little while ago. I think he might be honestly kind of playing that strategy out. Take a look at our best lap times of the day. Fastest time so far is 17:02, Chris Tinsley. The irony is, though, is that almost put him dead last in this case. And even has set in 17.03. Meanwhile, Onson 17:07, 17:10 for Daniel Foles. Very, very interesting little strategies for the speeds here. They're carrying through as the Vermont Sim Racer, number 54, Alex Marinelli, finally getting back on the track here. Running it right down on the outside, down for the corner there. Mike D'Amico just taking what he can there. The Hunt Brothers Pizza, 25, sticking with it. He'll put Marinelli a little bit more of a position or two back from the pack. Gotta believe he took all four tires, which looks like that's what happened there. All four and some fuel. And Marinelli just hoping that'll help work his strategy in. He's trying to race it out. He's looking for some momentum. That's what fresh tires will do for you. He gets it around D'Amico there. Folds actually, look at this. Starting to separate out a little bit here. Let's take a look at our lap times here. Your lap times presented in part by BlackBox Creative. This is what we've got going on right now, guys. Folds starting to fold the book up on Onson. As currently these drivers just continue to face everything they got. That is a 0.3 of a gap difference. That's a big difference maker if you ask me. Oh, by the way, Alex Marinelli just had the fastest time of the day. 16.99 last lap on the track there. He is blistering speeding. But again, blistering means your tires blister, and that's what you don't want. Seems to be falling under that category and into a bit of trouble here. James Foles watching on. Probably doesn't want Marinelli to get around him here, but at the same time knows that if he seeks to fight him, he will not be able to live another day. He's going to try to see what he can do possibly and maybe find a way to let him through. He's going to have to, though. Marinelli's got a good drive on the inside. Side by side down there now. Lap traffic trying to burrow up. He's really got no choice either. He's got to make a decision. Either get up there and fight or lose out. Chris Tinsley is really right behind him too. So being a lead racer here, this is where you really just start to wonder, what on earth did I get myself into? But kind of looking at it right now, I'm kind of wondering, is James trying to go the whole race without fuel and tires, I wonder? I wonder because honestly, it's a very risky, combative strategy. But it could work. He stayed back low for so long. Could have just been saving fuel. Could have been just saving tires and knew how this race was going to go. I didn't even think about that. Meanwhile, up ahead, Tinsley and Batty, they're going out a little more here. Neither driver seeming to get the inch over the other, though. Elite Performance Industries, number 10. Tinsley right now looking far and low, high inside, and driving on down high. Loud and proud and trying to miss this thing on around. But again, got to get around Marinelli to take that 6th spot away. Meanwhile, up ahead, Folds just increasing the lead. Onsen, I don't know if he's just playing defensive strategy now, trying to be less offensive and more combative in terms of what he wants to do. But honestly, right now, Daniel Folds, this guy right here is just blistering this place up. Let's go on board here with Daniel. Let's get a good idea why he's so fast here. Notice what I said earlier on. I said, find a way to run where the track is. Be smooth as possible. Where the racetrack goes and what it's telling you, you run where it goes. You see how Daniel, look at how smooth he is. Look at how he just kind of runs the corner off. He doesn't try to plant the car. Instead, what he does is he lets it lift to the top, stays on the throttle when he has to, then hard on the gas when it's straight, and then lowers it back down. Throttle rhythm key. And absolutely picture perfect. That is the name of the game sometimes, and sometimes you just got to respect the way of the law. And the law of physics and the law of racing sometimes can be a tricky little place. Nearly 25 laps left to go. Daniel Foles just been absolutely dominating this one. And now he's going to run a lap traffic now all the way up to the 5th spot. McMurtry next on his hit list. And McMurtry probably at this point just wondering, how did I even get myself into this mess? Up quite a bit down there. Daniel Foles did get around McMurtry there, so letting off the track, letting off the gas there. Gonna try to stick their guns in, stick their nose around right now. Every driver's still pulling the momentum and pulling the keys out. Tinsley now dealing with some pressure from Kurt Batty there. Batty still looking to try to get around him there as quick as possible at this point. He doesn't have a whole lot left to give and more to gain here. Going through traffic now and through the back of the pack. Zach Onsen here just get pulled out into the gaps here. And Marinelli, oh boy, hold on down there. Going right up ahead with McMurtry there as the field just continues to go one way and the other. Chris Tinsley here, well, didn't even get to run really much of the heats and hanging in the top 5. Pretty good for a bracketeer here. I'm pretty impressed so far how he's been able to kind of stay out of trouble and be able to work his way around the track as much as possible here. Daniel Foles, though, with 5-second lead, he's just pulling this one away. $18 laps left to go. Onsen hoping for the best here and hoping to kind of stick with it. Daniel Foles right now, though, at this point, man, he is just clocked, locked, and ready to rock it out of here. Remember, top 3 drivers will be talking with us at the end of this race today, so it'll be interesting to hear from them at last what they thought and how things went. McMurtry passed up there by the 25. Mike D'Amico. Old Mikey down there, man. Still loving that simple scheme he's got going on, but I also love the racing he's been able to put on when he gets to it. But really, it just seems like he's been more of a short runner than he has been a high runner for the long runners. As a hijinks 52, McMurphy goes into pit road. James Folds now with company on his doorstep here. D'Amico needs to find some run and some more gravitational speed to get around. And he's looking to try to do it. Oh! Or maybe just give the old bumper to them. He says, Folds, hey, wait a minute, bud. You're driving that slow. It's about time you get out of my way, bud. I'm trying to get around you. Oh, he's getting aggressive down there. Oh, my. He's bashing that 15F around down there. He's not having it. James Folds backs down, does not wish to fight. D'Amico gets around him. Oh, man, talk about dishing a few hits in there. One lick, then two licks, and the next thing you know, Folds is like, all right, I had enough of him. Zach Onson, he isn't even going to try with it, and he doesn't really need to. James Folds, look at him now. He's coming right on Onson's back bumper. Perhaps waiting it out this long was a big move and a well done maneuver. James Folds moves it into the second spot. Onson falling back again. 12 laps left to go. Time running out. How in the world could this be, you wonder? How in the world could this have happened? Well, this is sometimes the way it plays. Daniel right now just trying to hang on as long as he can. He's got Rick Murchie throwing him up top side. That'll lose him a little bit of ground, but James doesn't seem to really have much to catch to him here at this point. James honestly was extremely smart on the long run, but that short run I feel like probably could have done a little bit more for him to stick with Daniel and Onson out of the gate and then try to lay off later. But again, I could be very wrong. There is still some room left. 8 laps to go. There are plenty of things that can happen in this situation. But honestly, Daniel Folds, he just doesn't look like he's going to care. It looks like he's got this thing all wrapped up in a nice little bow, barring any craziness here like last week. Marinelli right now trying to get back up to Batty, as well as Tinsley. About an 0.8 of a second gap between those two. But it's Tinsley who still keeps the fight alive. Kurt Batty, though, right on his bumper. Well, we see the old bump and run being done again. There was a lot of that from Mike D'Amico and James Folds just a little bit ago. Those two giving quite a, shall we say, love tap or two. From corner number 2 and corner number 4 especially. Batty right on Tinsley's rear end, trying to stabilize it down. Zach Onson, oh, look at this. Trouble for Onson. He is having a lot of problems. The car not quite up to par, and he's letting these guys just slip on by him. And granted, they are still laps down, so he still has a good chance here. But here we go. 4 laps left to go. Top 5 on your screen. Look at the gap there. Oh my word! I didn't even realize it was 3 laps down for Tinsley and Batty on those guys. I thought it was only like 2 laps. Zach Onson right now just trying to stabilize down a bit. Looks like he's got some problems down there with the glitch graphic gremlins on the attack. Onson did go, no, he never went into pit road from what I'm understanding. Oh, he's got a major problem. Yeah, he just completely went off the track here. That'll move everybody up a couple places. And Onson's day, I think, is just done and over with. I don't think it matters anymore at this point. 2 laps to go. Daniel Folds just needs to set 6 more corners. 1 through 2, 3 through 4. White flag in the air. He's got 4 left to go. 1 corner down, there's the second. Down the back straightaway. Last week, it was a nightmare run for him. This time, it's the dream run he's been waiting for. Checkers out. Daniel Folds wins it at 5 flags. What a competitive race from point A to point B, ladies and gentlemen. Daniel Folds able to outwit his family member James down there and take this one home. The number 09. Boy, oh boy, did he park this bad boy up for a good spot. He did everything he had to and everything he needed to stay in line, to stay in place. And it looks like he is not going to be able to even get any burnouts going down there. So let's take a look at our feature results here. 100 laps in, 100 laps down. What a drive. Daniel Folds winning it. James Folds going second. Chris Tinsley third. Gert Batty fourth. Fifth to Mike DeMickle. Alex Marinelli sixth. Steven Assett seventh. Eighth to Derek McMurtry. Ninth to Zach Onson. And 10th to John Mickey. That will round out your results. Time to chat down there with our top 3 drivers now coming on to the track here. Let's begin with their race winner today, ladies and gentlemen. He parked it in victory lane in that 09. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Daniel Folds here as he is your winner today. And Daniel, oh my goodness, my friend, you had to run this thing into the ground and you had to fight a lot of drivers off out of the gate, especially the one that was kind of hanging around down here for a while, Zach Onson. How were you able to even kind of keep him away from you and be able to push up that far?
Yeah, I was trying to run my own pace and try and keep the tires on it. Setup was a little snug entry and loose exit, so I was really trying to back up my corner and be easy on the throttle and just try to save tires as much as I can.
Save tires as much as you can. Save all the last bit that you could there for the finale. I mean, for you and this team, I mean, last week obviously it didn't go the way you had planned there at Hickory, but to be able to even set this one up for you and get this into victory lane, I mean, how special was this compared to last week here?
It feels pretty good. A little bit of redemption. My brother James was in the right place at the right time last week, so for him to get that one and then for me to get this one, it's a good start to the season.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, Daniel, as you are driving this one into victory lane, I'll ask you this. Who do you want to thank you for this one?
It's Alex for putting on the league. It's good racing. It really teaches people long run and tire management. Just everybody that gets this group together every week.
Absolutely. Well, nevertheless, Daniel, we appreciate you coming on board. Congratulations, kid. This win today.
Thank you.
Daniel Folds, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner in this one. Coming to the race second, though, you just heard him say about his brother James Folds there. And James, yeah, like you just said there, man, last week you came out on top, got a little bit of a break. This time, you catch a big break there by simply just out racing everybody and strategizing a different formula. But I got to ask you, you laid so far back. I mean, was that kind of the intention for you in this case?
Well, I mean, hold on. Let's go back to last week real quick. He says I got a break, and I definitely got a break, but I had a good piece at the end. It's all a tire saving game in these long races, which going into the second half of this race, yep, like you said, I was laying back there at the end. I thought I was going to settle for third. That was my game plan the whole time. Figured if we could come out of here tied with Daniel with the points lead after race 2, that would be a good night. Started fourth, fell all the way back to ninth. There wasn't a single hole to drop down into and wasn't going to try to destroy nobody making one. So I started making moves, got up to third just after halfway. And once I realized second place might be an opportunity, man, I burned the stink off that right front. And I got to second, and Daniel proceeded to just extend the gap even more. There's no catching him tonight. But, yep, game plan worked out. Maintained the points lead with that P2. Happy moving on.
Happy moving on indeed. I know, obviously taking this P2 today as well as 5 flags. I know there was a lot of wear and tear just in your mind and on the drivers' minds. But for you, I mean, now moving on to next week, I mean, where does this kind of lay in for you in the terms of just keeping the pace?
Well, hopefully we can get another good pill draw for the heat race. Thought that was going to work out in my favor tonight, and it did till the drop of the green flag for the feature. But we'll just keep playing whatever the cards deal us and see the chips fall at the end.
For sure there. Anybody want to thank you for this one, James?
Same as Daniel. Thanks for Alex putting this on. It's a fun league. Would love to get a few more drivers in there.
We certainly love seeing it on our end too, but nevertheless, James, congratulations to you taking this one on home in second place.
Thanks.
James Folds, ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher today. Third coming out today, Chris Tinsley. Not getting any word on if he'll be in the broadcast end, so we'll just go ahead and give him the graphic here. A big congratulations to him and his team for being able to hold down for a third, despite not being able to really get much in the heats out of the way. But nevertheless, race fans, what a performance. What a show by everybody involved today here. And that kind of concludes it up today. So a big thank you again to Race City Sports Memorabilia, of course, and then, of course, EPI down there. Also the folks down at BlackBox Creative, Wisconsin Wings and Walleyes, Vermont Sim Racer, Mountainside Sugarhouse, Caudle Captures. Thank you all so much, as well as Maple Ridge Race Series, for even having us come on board to show more short track racing at its finest. It's been a beautiful day of short track racing and to show the grassroots are still alive. From North Wilkesboro down to Pensacola, Florida, I've been Christian the Crusader Striver. Thanks so much for tuning in here to PT Race TV. We'll see you guys next time when the green flag flies.